Well, thank you for staying with us here on THG 11 Plus for Arkansas News Now. I'm Tamer Knight with meteorologist Simone Thomas. And Simone, I know you're excited because there are warmer temperatures and the sun is playing peekaboo.
Yeah, I mean, it's feeling almost like a spring afternoon. And as a certified spring baby, this is my cup of tea. I know people wish it was a white Christmas, but how about a warm Christmas instead? We've been seeing a few breaks in the clouds today, which is helping temperatures get a little bit warmer than the initial forecast called for. We're up to 73 now in the capital city. Pine Bluff up to 76, 77 is the current, and Camden, a lot of places, pretty much everybody in the 70s with the exception of West Memphis, still holding on to 68 degrees at 12:30. We've had a few places already exceed or get close to their record high for the day. Harrison has gotten up to 76 degrees, beating out the previous record of 72. Same story in Fayetteville, beating out that previous record. Pine Bluff is getting close to it, as well as El Dorado and Texarkana. So we'll be following along through the rest of the afternoon to see if we see any new record highs, and I'll have another check-in of your week ahead forecast in that 7-day outlook.
Well, thank you, Simone. Developing today at noon, Little Rock police are investigating an early morning homicide. Officers were called to Eagle Nest Apartments on Falcon Court around 3:20 this morning for a report of a shooting. There, they found a man with gunshot wounds who died at the scene. Investigators were still on the scene several hours later collecting evidence. If you have any information about what happened, contact the LRPD Major Crimes Department. Meanwhile, a Pine Bluff man accused of shooting his longtime girlfriend is now behind bars. 68-year-old Will Jenkins was booked Monday after his release from the hospital. Police say Jenkins barricaded himself inside his home during the December 17th shooting, prompting a SWAT response, and he now faces multiple felony charges, including first-degree domestic battery. Prosecutors say the woman he shot remains hospitalized. And overnight, the Pentagon says it struck another alleged drug boat. President Trump is refusing to back down from his pressure campaign on Venezuela, even threatening to start land strikes. CBS News' Jared Hill has more from New York.
The Defense Department has confirmed it launched another strike on an alleged drug boat, this time in the Pacific Ocean, killing one person. That brings the total number of strikes to at least 29 since September, with more than 100 people killed. The Trump administration's intensifying campaign against what it calls narco-terrorism comes as the U.S. continues to ramp up pressure on Venezuelan leader Nicolas Maduro. Over the weekend, troops seized a second sanctioned oil tanker, and President Trump says there's a third in its sights.
It's moving along, and we'll end up getting it. Venezuela
has slammed the U.S.'s strikes and seizures of oil tankers as piracy. The country's government has introduced an anti-piracy bill. On state TV Monday, Maduro said President Trump should focus on his own country. President Trump Monday directed this at Maduro.
We have a massive armada formed, the biggest we've ever had. If he plays tough, it'll be the last time he's ever able to play tough.
Last week, the president wouldn't rule out war with Venezuela, and Monday he threatened land attacks could start soon. The buildup against Venezuela has faced bipartisan criticism from members of Congress. Meanwhile, the president announced a new so-called Golden Fleet of battleships.
There'll be 100 times the force, the power. There's never been anything like these ships.
Surrounded by his national security team, he said they could be ready in 2.5 years. Jared Hill, CBS News.
Also overnight, the Department of Justice released an additional 10,000 documents related to its investigation into convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. By the law, the DOJ had a Friday deadline to make all Epstein's files public, but so far has done just a partial release, claiming it needs more time to protect sensitive victim information. A group of Epstein survivors is planning to come back to Washington in January to press Congress to intervene if all the files aren't released.
We have people begging for me to do this, people that are in great pain.
That's President Trump signing an executive order last week directing federal agencies to move marijuana from a Schedule 1 to a Schedule 3 drug. It's a move drawing national attention, including here in Arkansas. State leaders stress that the order does not legalize marijuana and does not override Arkansas law. Right now, medical marijuana is legal here in the natural state, but recreational use is banned. Arkansas legalized medical marijuana only through a voter-approved amendment in 2016. And in a statement, a spokesperson for Attorney General Tim Griffin says any federal reclassification would not alter or impact Arkansas's constitutional provisions or marijuana laws. Senator Ronald Caldwell backed that, saying it's strictly for medical purposes.
It was to try to develop new treatments for these chronically ill patients, and especially those with cancer that may receive some relief. And there's other items out there too that can be treated, but I know that it is strictly a medical application.
According to the Arkansas Department of Health, more than 113,000 Arkansans currently hold medical marijuana cards. But Senator Caldwell says the biggest impact won't be at dispensaries, it'll be in laboratories. The FDA has approved the first prescription pill for weight loss with the same medicine as GLP-1 medications you can inject into your body. The Novo Nordisk obesity pill contains the same ingredient in injectables Wegovy and Ozempic. The new pills are expected to be available in just a few weeks. About 1 in 8 Americans say they take a GLP-1 drug to lose weight, and these pills are likely to make the drugs even more popular. And just days before Christmas, flu cases are surging in Arkansas, sending more people to doctors' offices and emergency rooms. THV 11 Tanya Mortozitsky shares important reminders so you don't give or receive the unwanted gift of germs.
It's not the Christmas plans millions of Americans intended to have this holiday season.
We always have a little bit of a surge before Christmas. This year it does seem to be a little extra severe.
Owner of Kavanaugh Pharmacy, Ann Pace, says she's staying busy with customers testing and being treated for the flu.
So far, probably in the last week, we have seen a dramatic increase, kind of a skyrocket of flu cases.
Pace says flu medications are flying off the shelves as people test positive, trying to feel better before the unwelcome guest of germs joins them for Christmas. While last year's flu cases peaked in January and February, we're on track to see those numbers again.
It's much like it was last year when we had one of the worst flu seasons we'd had in many years.
According to the Center of Disease Control, the most recent numbers nationally estimated more than 4 million flu-like illnesses, 49,000 hospitalizations, and nearly 1,900 deaths. The best defense against these Scrooge-like flu germs, hand washing, staying home, even if that means canceling Christmas plans to protect elderly, kids, and pregnant women from more severe cases, and to get vaccinated against the current strains.
It will be a number of weeks before we have a sense of how well the current vaccine is protecting against the currently circulating strain.
In Little Rock, Tanya Mortozitsky, THV 11 News.
Coming up after the break here on Arkansas News Now, for anyone who still has Christmas gifts to wrap, we're looking into why we wrap presents in the first place.
And we'll continue to see mostly cloudy skies through the afternoon, but could warm up a few more degrees. Your 7-day outlook is coming up in 3 minutes.
They love it. They talk about how beautiful the horses are and how great the lights are and how much they enjoy just the scenery from the Christmas lights. They love it.
In Saline County, the courthouse has been decked out since early December, but now you can enjoy a horse-drawn carriage ride while looking at the lights. Crazy Creek Carriage Company has come back for a 3rd year in a row, and carriage ride starts at 5 p.m. every night at the courthouse. Now, this is something you can take your cat to.
So she was laughing at me because during the break, I was saying, I think I want to take my cat to go see Christmas lights because I don't have a child to go take to see Christmas lights.
I think he would enjoy.
I don't think the cat would like the horse or the horse would like the cat. That feels like a lot of chaos.
Or he wouldn't even know. He would never get to meet the horse. Sit in the back.
The cat's anxious like her mama. We got.
She has a car seat. I'm sure she has a carrier.
You put me on blast.
Strap her in and the carriage. There's ways to make it work.
Possibly. But Saline County is a little far to keep her in the car. We're going to keep it local We got a lot of lights displays across Central Arkansas we've been talking about. I think tonight would be a good night to go look at some of those lights. We've been seeing some breaks in the clouds through the afternoon, but overnight cloud cover will increase again. So if you need something to light up your holiday cheer, definitely check out any of the Central Arkansas Christmas lights displays this week. Here's a look at that satellite. We are seeing a few breaks in the clouds across the state, but really still maintaining mostly cloudy skies out there. Those winds are coming from the south, helping us bring a little more moisture, which is keeping a saturated air, helping us see some of those low level clouds. As dark as this gray is, almost as dark as that background, that kind of lets you know those clouds are a little bit closer to the surface. We had some fog this morning that has lifted, but we still keep up the cloud cover. Getting warmer through the next couple of days. We've got some record highs in danger. We've already exceeded some record highs today. We'll likely do that again over the next couple of days. Tomorrow leaning a few degrees warmer because we're looking to actually see some more sunshine tomorrow. Through the rest of the weekend into the start of the weekend, likely hanging out in the middle 70s. Our next cold front moves through on Sunday to push us back into the 50s, and likely we start next week having a hard time breaking into 50 degrees. Lots of changes coming, but before we get there the next couple of days, we're going to be getting close to some record highs. Now these are the records for the next couple of days, specifically in Little Rock. Today we've already gotten up to about 73, 74 degrees. Might not break this record, but I think tomorrow and into Christmas Day we could get closer, especially if we have a day like today where we exceed what we initially forecasted. Tomorrow's forecast is 76. A few more degrees, we could possibly match the record. I know at least for Christmas Day, that 74, even if we don't get warmer to beat out the 78, that 74 would make for our second warmest Christmas on record in Little Rock. Looking ahead through the rest of the week, does not look like we're going to pick up on a whole lot of rainfall. Our next big chance of rain coming when that front moves through on Sunday. Looks like at best we pick up some trace amounts of rain across the state, which is good for anybody traveling by car. Likely won't have much impacts to your Christmas traveling. And then again today, looking to continue to see those middle and upper 70s across the state as we warm up a little bit more before that sunset around 5 o'clock. The rest of the week, I can't say this is enough. It's just going to be warm as Santa Claus comes through. Likely going to need to wear some shorts. I do think overnight Wednesday into Thursday it might be cloudy enough to prompt bringing Rudolph along as well, but some of that sunshine coming back again by Friday. We'll start the weekend with a mix of clouds and sun. Could likely see some more clouds on Sunday with those light opportunities for rain, and we kick off next week a little bit closer to the norm for this time of year in those upper 40s and low 50s.
Well, thank you, Simone. 'Tis the season for shopping, giving, and wrapping presents. But have you ever wondered, why do we wrap gifts? Susan Elizabeth Littlefield explains the history behind the holiday tradition.
The largest mall in the country. It's game time.
My daughter, my son.
My siblings. I have 3 younger siblings.
My husband, no, because he's right here.
And then my parents, too.
But he likes Vikings and stuff, so he's always getting kind of Vikings and stuff.
And with the time-honored tradition of gift giving is gift concealing.
Are you bag people or are you wrapping people?
Personally, I'm wrapping.
I think it depends on the shape, the size.
And if the gift already comes with the box or not.
I've had a couple of years where I'm like, it's bags this year.
Oh, I enjoy wrapping. I like it. It's fun.
As seen at the mall's premier gift wrap location, the Paper Source.
Handing someone a gift versus having it wrapped. It's different. Yeah, it is. The gift itself being wrapped up with a really nice bow shows them through your actions that I love you, and I'm willing to take the extra time to be able to make something even more special for you.
I feel like as a kid, you don't really know what you would get like under the wrapper.
I think because it tells the person that you took the time to look for something that they enjoy.
So it's like the thrill of unwrapping the gift.
And those assumptions are largely correct, as we discovered after digging into the wrapping culture. Research from Oxford University reads, the most obvious and practical reason to wrap items is to protect them. Think of giving a neighbor vegetables from your garden. The research also suggests anticipation is a reason for wrapping, saying the special effort put into the decoration of the gift is probably expected to transmit a message of goodwill to the recipient.
I
last year wrapped some of my gifts within fabric because we're Japanese. And that's like something within our culture.
A tip they got from their grandmother, which makes sense. Wrapping is rooted in Asian tradition. According to anthropology magazine Sapiens, back 2,000 years ago in China, paper was used to protect precious materials and store tea leaves and medicine. About 1,000 years ago, wrapping became central to Japanese culture. And now it's a nearly universal tradition. A heartful.
It's fun to give more than to receive.
And artful.
It's beautiful. Thank you.
1, 2. With photojournalist Jose Pascual, Susan Elizabeth Littlefield, WCCO News.
Now, wrapping paper became popular in 1918 when a Kansas paper company ran out of tissue paper and started selling the paper they used to make the envelopes. Since then, it's turned into a $16 billion industry.
Well, it's Christmas break for most athletes around the state. One last go around in D1 hoops at the Jack Stevens Center. Next in sports.
The THV 11 Sports Desk, sponsored by your Central Arkansas Hyundai dealer.
Well, tributes continuing to pour in for Al Flanagan, the legendary Little Rock Parkview coach who passed away last weekend at 75 years old, leaving a massive impact on the state from Magnolia to Pine Bluff to Parkview, but also around the entire basketball world. Ole Miss head coach Chris Beard met Flanagan when Beard was the coach at Little Rock. Now Al's son Wes is on staff at Ole Miss, and after Ole Miss's game on Sunday, Beard devoted the opening portion of his press conference to a tribute to Coach.
Today was probably, today was the hardest game I've ever coached. Wes Flanagan's father, Al Flanagan, and I don't say this lightly, maybe the best high school basketball coach to ever coach in our country. Al Flanagan from Little Rock, Parkview. He's in Hall of Fame. He's a winner. He's a man. Wes is dead. We learned that he passed this morning, but just prayers and thoughts with Wes and his family. Coach Flanagan, you guys do your research, man. I don't say that lightly, man. Maybe the best high school basketball coach has ever coached the game in our country. Just unbelievable. So heavy hearts today for Coach. So a lot of things more important than basketball, and today was a reminder to all of us.
And a pair of coaches in Christmas sweaters at Jack Stevens last night. Little Rock women hosting Hendricks, and Hendricks hanging tight early. Bryant alum Natalie Edmondson knocking down a three to make it a tie ball game. But then a couple minutes later, Maya Cotto with the steal. She goes coast to finish, and Little Rock pulls away in the second half to win by 21. Men's game would follow. Maximus putting a hat on a hat there, but it's a Christmas hat. We'll let it slide. Trojans playing William Baptist, but check out Parkview alum Cameron Wallace, the two-handed slam, building an early lead for the Trojans. William Baptist, though, sticking around. Jonesboro alum Dion Wasson with the steal, bucket, tied all at 24, but a pair of three-pointers on the next couple possessions give the Trojans the lead that they would not relinquish. Little Rock pulls away to win by 14, and with that, that's a wrap on D1 Sports until after the holiday. Everyone's back next weekend, or for some, in the new year.
Coming up next on Arkansas News Now, a trio of small singers making a big splash on social media for their take on a Christmas classic. Stay with us.
Hark how the bells, sweet silver bells, all seem to say, throw cares away. Christmas is here, bringing good cheer to young and old, meek.
With Christmas closing in,
It is a song with joyful ring, all caroling.
three young voices at Great Heart Academy's Cicero campus did more than fill a gym with holiday cheer.
Oh, hello, daddy, good tale. Everyone, people singing songs of good cheer, and Christmas is here.
They reached far beyond it.
Merry, 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 merry Christmas. Overnight, it hit like 1 million views. It's kind of shocking.
13-year-olds Amelie Maldonado and Elias Gonzalez, along with 11-year-old Macklin Murdoch, turned a polished performance of Carol the Bells into an internet moment seen around the world.
She told me like the Carol the Bells performance you did has got like millions of views. I'm like, no way. And then she showed me the video and I'm like, this is crazy.
The now viral clip came from the school's semi-annual Fine Arts Night, and it almost didn't happen at all.
Carol of the Bells was not going to be part of the original performance for Here for Fine Arts Night.
Choir director Abdiel Bernal says the trio had been preparing for a later field trip, but weeks of commitment and chemistry were impossible to ignore.
And so after seeing that eagerness, you just have to give them that opportunity to shine.
And when they finally stepped on stage, they were ready.
I felt ready. I felt really excited.
Amelie's mom, Rita, caught the moment on her phone and shared it to TikTok, never imagining what would come next.
In the morning, my husband woke me up and he's like, it has 1 million views. And that doesn't happen.
And then the next day, it was at about 2 million views. So we were all very surprised at that.
A surprise born from practice, courage, and a little holiday harmony, turning one school performance into a memory these kids and millions of viewers won't soon forget.
A lot of my friends and family are probably watching this, so it's like amazing.
And just a reminder, we have some special holiday shows coming up this week. Be sure to join us this Thursday, Christmas Day, for the Eat It Up holiday special at noon with our hated Balgavi as he looks back at the best desserts he's ate this year. Plus, our annual Good News of 2025, rounding up the best feel-good stories of the year. That's Thursday at 6:30, hosted by Rolly Hoyt. And
I'm still tripping out by the ghost in the door. I'm sorry. We think we got a ghost trying to do the news with us, but we're going to focus on the forecast right quick because that's something positive. Tamer, you're not helping. Mostly cloudy skies expected through the rest of the afternoon where we could warm up a few more degrees. Looking to keep up these middle and upper 70s through the weekend. Our next cold front moves through on Sunday to push us back in the 50s to wrap up the weekend. And next week we start out in the upper 40s, likely having a hard time reaching 50 degrees.
And thank you so much for joining us here on THV 11 Plus. Make sure you come back and join us later this evening.